Supporters want to talk to me on this. I think that's what they don't like, though. They don't want me talking to supporters.
How did they know you were coming?
Well, sure, look, I registered under my name. I'm not going to lie. I registered under my name. Which I'm sure they did a quick little search, given that they totally thought they had their other name. But really, the moment I got there, all of a sudden, 3 staffers walked up to where I am in the line. Oh, sorry, sir, we thought you were like, we're still letting thousands of people in. I'm like, really? You're still it's nuts. They were so afraid.
So they gave you no official reason. They just said, we're full, you can't come in.
That's right. There was no official reason. Then there were a bunch more people there. I just hung out. 20 minutes later, we had another 20 or 30 late arrivals in, including a city manager that I used to volunteer for about 11 or 12 years ago. He came in with the group from Ventura. But anyway,
if you don't do or say anything, you don't disrupt the rally. What are they afraid of?
Yeah, I don't know. They were just, the second time I went up, they just stand to give my face sorry. As soon as they saw my ID, sorry, you were full. Because there were different people, different staffers at that point. The Culver City Police Department was in on it too. They're like, oh, sorry, you can't come in. I'm like, what? It's political discrimination is what it is. And that is funny. We're already looking into that.
It's childish too. I mean, it's really childish. Yeah, well, as a Democrat, they're not happy that you're on the ballot.
Well, look, here's the thing. Elections are about giving Americans an opportunity to choose the leaders they want. We are not beholden to the Democratic Party's decisions. I can be a Democrat, and I can run with my own Democratic JFK-style platform to give Americans in California specifically a choice. That's the point of free and fair elections. We shouldn't be rigging elections and saying, oh, leave part of a ballot blank. It's ridiculous. It's selfish. It's sabotage. It's disgusting. We should be filling out the complete ballot.
What is your impression of the mood out there towards Newsom?
Well, the mood towards me, and I don't think anybody really likes Newsom. The thing that they've done, and I'll give them credit, something that they've done very well here recently is they've been calling this, of course, a Republican recall, which we know it's not. That elder, I feel like, has been a little bit of a gift to them because they've really been able to paint the extreme now. See, before, and I'm not trying to call Larry Elder extreme, but that's just what they're painting us. See, before, Newsom was running against Faulkner and Jenner and Cox and me, and it's like, well, you're against a bunch of mostly moderates here, just common sense people who wanted normal things here. When Elder, and right as Elder entered, as this was the landfill, Newsom was starting to lose. But then, as soon as Elder rose in popularity and they started paying him as more extreme, it's like, all of a sudden the Democrats came out and now the recall seems less likely. But it worked well for him. We're still thinking he's going to get recalled. But it's been an interesting shift to walk out.
Yeah, we had the same observation last week that now they have somebody, whether it's true or not, that they can portray as like a Trump candidate. And that's what they wanted, because Larry he's outspoken, he's a very colorful personality, and they had their kind of Trump guy to beat on.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, imagine if Donald Trump, instead of running for president, said, hey, I'm going to run for governor of California. He's never win out here. We all know that. California's not going to vote for Trump out here. So it's perfect for the Newsom camp to paint someone like Elder as Trump. They say, hey, you're with Trump. Within 24 hours of him announcing his 16 campaign and so on and so forth. But the common sense reality here is that everybody hates Newsom. The reality is, now we're just comparing to, okay, well, what do we want? The rotten beef or the rotten steak? And that's kind of how, like, the CNN and Fox News are portraying it. And really, unfortunately, what just washed out when that happened is the modern forces. The campaigns like mine, where, hey, we're not part of the fireworks. We don't have the scandals, the nonsense on both sides, specifically the Newsom, the lines, the people, misleading and trying to cover up the fire prevention efforts or the donations he gets to give special privileges to businesses. It's not. I mean, all this is outlined at newskevin.com. I won't really litigate, why I'm running to get through from here.
No, it's true. He's got all kinds of problems, and it blows through the news in a day or less. But they fixate on all the scandalous stuff, whatever dirt they can find on Larry Elder's background. That's taken over the race instead of all the devastation that Newsom has left behind. And I hate the media for that. I just hate them for that.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And that's why I appreciate y'all. You brought me on here quite a few times now, so thank you for that. Because we need more of those modern voices. I think the majority of Californians, both left and right, want to focus on things like better schools, fixing crime, homelessness, water, fires. Like, these are common sense things. I mean, here we need to be having debates over anti-vax versus vaccine. Like, I get there's a discussion to have around that. But these are really big issues that we can all agree on. Let's start with some of these big issues.
All right, Kevin, thanks for coming on again. And, oh, by the way, what's the number one thing you hear from people as you campaign in terms of the issue?
Most people say anybody but Newsom. They think it's only to do better than Newsom. And quite frankly, they think that because they would rather have the legislature, like if the Republicans, they would rather have the legislature just run the show for a year because it would open up the field in 2022 for any other candidate some new ideas. So the common theme I hear is anybody but Newsom. Unfortunately, recently you've also been seeing a little bit of, now some people say anybody but Elder, because of that extremeness that the media is fear-mongering.
All right, meet Kevin. Thanks for coming on again, Kevin. Appreciate talking to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Kevin.
All right, Kevin Passafi, he's on your ballot. Democrat, running to replace Gavin Newsom. MeetKevin.com. He's in the real estate business. Only 29 years old. Certainly got the energy. More coming up. John and Ken, KFI, Devin Marquez News.
A fire in Montecito Heights has burned about 4 acres. The fire started along the northbound 110 near Via Marisol. Britney Spears' dad has filed court papers in L.A. to end her conservatorship. He has been in control of his daughter's estate since 2008. Apple is spending millions of dollars to relocate homeless people from its property in San Jose into motels. We have trouble on the 10, and we will check in with the KFI in the sky next.
You're an entrepreneur, self-employed, or you're a 1099 contractor, you're a real estate investor, and you've been denied for a traditional loan because you don't have tax returns. Well, Equinox Home Financing is the answer. Because instead of tax returns, they use personal or business bank statements to determine your cash flow, and your cash flow then becomes your income. Conventional lenders can't do this. So if you want to finally get qualified for a home loan, fast, do it at the lowest rates, and this could be an owner-occupied house, a vacation or investment home, you want to go with Equinox Home Finance. Call 855-LOAN-455, 855-LOAN-455, or go to EquinoxHomeFinancing.com, EquinoxHomeFinancing.com.
Licensed by the California Department of Real Estate and the California Department of Financial Oversight, NMLS number 1212805.
With a change of weather comes change of pests. Whether it's termites, bed bugs, or rodents, Stanley Pest Control can provide you a green approach to solve all your pest issues. Call Stanley Pest Control at 1-800-GOT-BUGS for a free inspection or visit StanleyPest.com.
Southland weather from KFI, setting tomorrow highs ranging from the mid-80s to 102. This report brought to you by Stanley Pest Control. We have a crash on the 10 in City Terrace.
This one is looking kind of serious. It's on the 10 freeway, eastbound, right before Eastern Avenue crash in the center divide, getting some attention there. CHP on the scene trying to work with that. Otherwise, our guy upstairs, KFI in the Sky, sponsored by Injury Attorney, Superwoman, Superlawyer.com. Mike O'Brien looking at things in Monrovia. It's the Rebel People. You can, well, he's heading eastbound at Myrtle. Looks like a problem there. Just cleared from the right shoulder. Looks like that's adding to flowing out of downtown Pasadena. You've got another pocket that's going up ahead as you approach the 605, out through about Azusa, and up ahead of that, another 10 to 57. If you're traveling east on the 60 out of East Los Angeles, you can load up there for the 510 split, and it'll be heavy out to about Paramount, and then back on the way Hacienda Boulevard, over to a problem clearing at Grand on the bridge with the North 57. Injured in an accident, visit Superwoman, Superlawyer.com. Mike O'Brien, KFI in the Sky. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Will Colstraber.
This report is sponsored by the Auto Club of Southern California. Did you know the Auto Club offers competitive rates on auto insurance? Go to AAA.com/insurance for a free quote today and find out how much you could save. Insurance through the Auto Club. Visit AAA.com/insurance today.
If you thought you missed the lowest mortgage rates in history, you're in luck because they're back. Mortgage rates are near historic lows again. So if you have a mortgage, refinance it and forget it. You'll never have to worry about refinancing again. Network Capital Funding is offering a low 15-year fixed rate at 1.75% with a 1.94 APR. Incredible! Network Capital has built a reputation for saving people time and money with our unique process that's fast, simple, and secure. Our 15-year fixed rate is 1.75% with a 1.94 APR. Now, second chances don't come often, and you may never see these rates again. So, refinance it and forget it. That's a 15-year fixed at 1.75%. Yes, 1.75% with a 1.94 APR. Call the experts at Network Capital now. Call 800-500-1-HIT. 800-501-HIT. As in home run. Call now and save big on your refi. 800-500-1-HIT. 800-500-1448. NMLS ID 11712. Not licensed in all states. Visit NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Licensed by the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation and the Financing Law. Number 603D787. An equal opportunity lender. Rates subject to change and may not be available rate law. Discount points may apply. Subject to credit approval. Call 800-500-1448 for additional cost information.
I'm Susan Owen, managing partner at OPO Law. And if you think all personal injury attorneys are alike, you'd be surprised. All law firms are not the same. OPO Law has a 98% success rate on over 10,000 cases we have handled. And while insurance companies continue to make lowball offers, we fight hard to get you the money you deserve. Here's Pursuit to Win for You is our specialty. We don't settle your case for what the insurance company thinks it's worth. We settle your case for what we believe it's worth. For over 4 decades, we have gone to battle with the insurance companies and have obtained over $1 billion for injury victims. If you have been injured in an accident, dial pound 250, use keyword personal injury to connect to OPO Law. Remember, you don't pay until we win your case.
OPO Law, the law firm insurance companies fear most.
I'm Susan Owen, and I would be honored to handle your case.
When you dial pound 250, you'll have the option of receiving an auto-dialed text message from iHeartMedia.
This is Leland Smith, owner of Service Champion Plumbing, Heating, and AC, and I want you to know that we have the world's friendliest technicians. Here's how we do it. We only hire friendly people. It's the very first thing you look for during the interview. If they're not friendly, it's a deal breaker. We think we're checking their experience and technical abilities, but we're really seeing if they smile or not. We're checking to see if they're polite, approachable, outgoing, and kind. And if they are, and only if they are, then we take a look at their technical abilities. But if they're grumpy, don't smile, or aren't polite, no job. The result is an entire team of over 200 of the world's friendliest technicians. Call and see for yourself. Our precision tune-up and professional cleaning is just $88. Call Service Champions at 833-777-7777 or find us online at servicechampions.com.
Attention homeowners, Interactive Mortgage has dropped rates again to a rock bottom 1.75% weight in APR. Yes, it's incredible. A rock bottom 1.75%. And if that's not enough, Interactive Mortgage will even pay your title, escrow, and appraisal fees. That's right, no points and no fees. Absolutely zero. Zilch. None. So what are you waiting for? Call now and take advantage of these never-before-offered rates. A 1.75% weighted APR with no fees whatsoever. Call Interactive Mortgage now at 844-371-CASH. That's 844-371-CASH. 844-371-2274. Or visit interactivemortgage.com. Link One Corporation, DBA Interactive Mortgage. Equal housing lender. Terms and conditions apply. New client owns loan of $300,000 to $548,250. Minimum FICO of 740 and maximum LTV of 60%. All loans subject to underwriting approval, and not all applicants will qualify. Loans made or arranged pursuant to California Finance Law License number 603F938. NMLS number 302352.
Hi, I'm host Sophie Morgan, inviting you to listen to Equal 2, a new podcast about achieving disability equality. With the Paralympic Games happening in Tokyo, we're asking, where should the story go next? Equal 2 is brought to you by the Emmy Award-winning team that created Rising Phoenix and made possible by the support of Procter & Gamble. Listen to Equal 2, that's Equal, T-O-O, part of Sensitive Conversations on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Two airplanes that crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country.
I'm Steve Gregory. The attacks of 9/11 forever changed America and also marked the beginning of the war on terror. Join me for 9/11, 2 decades later, an exploration of decisions made to make Americans safer, and we'll attempt to answer the question, is America safer today than 20 years ago? This Saturday at 3 and 8 p.m. on KFI.
More stimulating talk.
CFO KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, we're at the Newsom recall desk. The election is next Tuesday. A quick reminder that Monday, during the 5 o'clock hour, we're going to open up the phones to anybody running for governor that's on the ballot. There are 46 people, I should say 45, because Doug Oshie, the former congressman, had to step aside and was run for governor because he had a heart attack. But there are 45 people who are on the ballot. If you are one of those people or you know someone that is, tell them that next Monday, the night before the election, we'll give them a few minutes of KFI airtime to make their case to replace Gavin Newsom. Speaking of him, the Washington Beacon has gotten a hold of the information that CalPERS, the California Public Pension System, that monster, has more than $3 billion invested in Chinese companies. $3 billion. Including 14 which are owned by the Chinese government, and they were blacklisted by the Trump administration because of their ties to the Chinese military. CalPERS had more than $450 million invested in these 14 companies. More than $490 million were invested in other 7 of companies owned by the Chinese government, which are funding some of the big programs in that country. According to these records, one of them is the China Communications Construction Company, the CCC, state-owned and reportedly flouted international agreements by building military installations in the South China Sea. CalPERS invested $6 million in the company. I guess it doesn't matter because apparently when Newsom took office, apparently he wanted CalPERS to divest from Turkish companies who refused to recognize the Armenian genocide, and he thought that CalPERS should divest from tobacco companies, because that would be invested in debt.
Oh, there's a lot of virtue signaling investing that goes on. You shouldn't invest in oil companies. You shouldn't invest in tobacco companies. You shouldn't invest in this country or that country because they're anti-this or anti-that. You know, it's...
well, apparently that's not a problem for investing in the evil Chinese companies.
Well, because
that's a lot of money.
Because they're hypocrites. Considering how what the Chinese do, how they treat people, all the tremendous amount of slave labor, the way they put the Uyghurs in those internment camps, and the torture that those poor people go through. I mean, there's so many human crimes.
I'm counting on you for the updates on the Uyghurs. They're locked up in prisons. You taught me how to even pronounce that word.
The women are raped. They're forced to have abortions. They're sent to all the
They're called re-education.
Yeah, it's brainwashing camps. It's to cleanse the Islam out of their system and replace it with Chinese ideology. It's horrific. Except, you know, like North Korea, all that is sealed off. There's very little video of it. You have to go online and you could find some pictures, still pictures, maybe little snippets of video if somebody sneaks a camera in, but there's no real coverage because the Chinese don't allow it, so they never get any... I realize if something doesn't happen on video and isn't broadcast on major platforms, then it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. So CalPERS feels fine about investing the money because who's going to know?
Apparently, Newsom also recently thanked the editor-in-chief of a Chinese media outlet with ties to the country's Communist Party, something called Xinpao Daily. Newsom appeared to thank the editor-in-chief for the staff's balanced coverage. The newspaper is probably run by the government. Joseph, your work's been a labor of service, not only to the Chinese-American community throughout the Bay Area, but all throughout Northern California community as well. Why don't you bother to single out a Chinese publication?
England must have got something. There must have been some money there. He's a corrupt dude, so if he does something that makes you scratch your head, figure that somehow he got a check out of it.
All right, we got more coming up.
910 KFI, Deborah Marquez News.
The California Business Association says a bill headed for a vote in the state assembly would limit the charges prosecutors can file against members of violent street gangs. Association President Vern Pearson says it's a threat to public safety.
This deceptively amended bill will make it far more difficult to hold
criminal street gang members accountable for their actions.
The operator of California's power grid has issued a flex alert because of higher than normal temperatures and a high demand for electricity. CalISO is asking people to reduce their energy use tomorrow between 4 and 9 p.m. Part of a river in Central California near where a family died last month has been closed because of a toxic algae. The State Department of Water Resources says water results show dangerous toxin levels in the Merced River. Boating is still allowed, but people and pets are advised to not touch the water because the toxin can make people extremely sick. A former flight attendant will soon wrap up a unique tribute for the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attack.
Paul Zanetto is a retired United Airlines flight attendant and says he wanted to do something to let the families of the crew members lost on 9/11 know how courageous their loved ones were that day. That's why he came up with Polly's Push. Zanetto's been pushing a beverage cart from Boston to Ground Zero for the last 2 weeks. He expects to arrive Saturday. The effort's focus is on the crew of United Airlines Flight 175. That was his regular route. But Zanetto was off on September 11th when the plane crashed into the South Tower of the World Trade Center. Jennifer Jones-Lee, KFI News.
A new study says breast milk from mothers vaccinated against COVID-19 has a significant amount of antibodies. Researchers at the University of Florida say they tested the blood and breast milk of 21 lactating moms who never had COVID. They found that the number of antibodies increased after each dose of the vaccine. We have a crash on the 105 in South LA.
It's the eastbound side right there at the 110 freeway. Center lane blocked for this crash, and you're jammed up back from Vermont Avenue. Mike O'Brien, KFI in the Sky, sponsored by Injury Attorney, SuperwomanSuperLawyer.com. Looking at things in Whittier.
The problem just right up here, Will, on the 605. 605 northbound at Beverly. Looks like they just got out of lane here over to the right shoulder. Like heading to going, it starts at the 105. And up ahead, there's another pinch here approaching Peck Road. That stays pretty heavy, up to about, just about Valley Boulevard. Now problems on the south 605. The south 605 at Peck Road, actually closer to Rose Hill. Not so rosy here because of a stuck big rig in the second to the right lane there. This is number 3 lane. That's adding a very tough drive, leaving the 10. A lot of that slowing will shift up ahead through Whittier down towards the 5 interchange. Injured in an accident, visit SuperwomanSuperLawyer.com. Mike O'Brien, KFI in the Sky.
91 eastbound before the 241. A crash on the shoulder has things very slow from Imperial Highway. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Will Coltreiber. If you're not smiling in public anymore because you don't have a smile, you have rotted, decayed teeth. You're also not eating solid foods very much, right? Just all soft stuff you can gum. Because your teeth are falling out, or they're in such bad shape they're going to be falling out soon. You go to Cunning Dental, they have their new permanent teeth in a day procedure. They look and feel like natural teeth. In one day, you'll leave Cunning Dental one day with a new full set of teeth, a bright smile. You'll look fantastic. They got a free seminar in Irvine this Saturday the 11th. Learn all about new permanent teeth and meet real patients. There's limited seating with social distancing. Call now and reserve your seat. And you can call for a free appointment that includes an exam, x-rays, and CT scan. That's a $1,500 value. The offer ends on September 30th. So if you want to go to the free seminar in Irvine this Saturday, call now for a free appointment. And the exam, you call 888-640-SMILE, 888-640-SMILE, 888-640-SMILE.
Southland weather from KFI, sunny and hot tomorrow. Low to mid-70s at the peaks. Mid-80s to around 90s for Metro LA. Mid-80s to around 101 in the valleys. 90 in Inland OC. Upper 90s to 102 in the IE. We lead local live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Deborah Mark.
If you ever get hurt in an accident, the insurance company will offer to pay you very little for your injuries. Well, Sweet James Accident Attorneys will not let that happen. If you get hurt in an accident, call Sweet James. Get the medical care you need and the money you deserve. And pay nothing until they win. Call 800-500-5200, 800-500-5200, or sweetjames.com.
Hey, Gary, how are things?
Things are great, but I crushed my mortgage payment with owning without even leaving my couch. I got a no closing cost refi at a great low rate, and owning did it all in less than 3 weeks. It was easy, no muss, no fuss.
Be like Gary. Call Owning at 855-5-OWNING and crush your mortgage payment with today's 30-year fixed refi at 2.625% rated APR with no closing costs. None. Zero. Even if you've refinanced recently, call 855-5-OWNING and let us crush your monthly payment even more. That's 855-5-OWNING or log on to owning.com.
NMLS 2611, licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, subject to credit approval. Call 833-852-6464 for terms and conditions.
You can crush it too with a 30-year fixed 2.625% rate in APR with absolutely no closing costs.
KFI would like to thank the Radio and Television News Association for making KFI News the winningest news outlet in Southern California.
KFI AM 640.
More stimulating talk.
And I heard radio friends.
John Cobell and Ken Shampo's KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Hey, the voice line is coming back around in just 3 days, and there's room after a long holiday weekend. Leave your message at 1-877-MOIST-86, 1-877-664-7886. Old Joe today took a tour of the damage to the New York City area from what was Hurricane Ida and became Tropical Storm Ida. It kind of caught that area somewhat by surprise. It flashed through there after it hit the Gulf Coast. It made its way up and took a turn over to the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area, and quite a few people, a large number actually, died, a lot of them because of basement flooding. Joe went to both New Jersey and New York City today. Apparently, in New Jersey, a couple of towns he stopped in, people were screaming at him. One woman yelled, "My country's going to bleep and you're allowing it?" And I'm an immigrant and I'm proud of this country. I'd give my life for this country. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves. Apparently, he had some problems with the Afghanistan withdrawal by Biden. One man yelled, "All this for a bleeping photo op? You ain't going to do bleep." Good. They should be called on all their phony baloney photo op appearances. Why does the president have to go and inspect somebody's flooded street or flooded basement? What is that about exactly? So he looks empathetic? Just send them the money that they need. Apparently the real purpose of this tour was to tout his infrastructure bill to affect protection against climate change. That's all he talked about today. These storms are due to climate change. Jump on the latest storm of the day, and this is such a tired routine.
For breakfast and lunch.
Storms. Storms always happen. Hurricanes always happen. Tornadoes always happen. Droughts always happen. And we only have 150 years worth of records.
I can come back to
In fact, they even invoked the Jerry Brown line today, calling it an existential threat to the country. Most people didn't know what existential means. That existence, right? Our very existence is in peril. In fact, he used that word. The nation and the world are in peril. That's not hyperbole. That's a fact. He sounds just like Jerry Brown. Yeah, okay. Well, no one's ever going to do a code red segment. No one's ever going to do anything about it. I get into discussions with people sometimes, and it's like, be serious here. Do you see any significant number of people giving up their cars? No. Very, very few people drive electric cars. There's no stampede for us going on. And do you see people, even if there were, it's not going to change anything right away. No, it's not. Do you see people not buying stuff? Factories produce everything, correct? And they produce a lot of industrial emissions. Do you see people saying, I'm not going to buy things anymore, so these factories stop sending greenhouse gases into the air? No, you don't see that at all. Do you see people living without air conditioning? Uses an enormous amount of energy.
No, they're not living without air conditioning. Do you see them moving into smaller homes? No, I don't see that either. I don't see smaller cars. I don't see smaller homes. I don't see people using less electricity. I see people, they've got, half a dozen televisions in their house. I don't know what, nobody's doing anything about it. And certainly China and India are never going to do anything about it in our lifetime. So what is this? What is this self-flagellating that we're doing? Oh, it's climate change, it's global warming, we must repent, we must repent. We've offended Mother Nature, we've offended the Earth Goddess. Like, stop it. We're going to have no effect on any of this. If there's climate change, we're just going to have to adapt. Everybody's got to move a little inland and move a little farther north.
Well, that was part of the discussion, actually, was to actually build things more fortified so they hold up against, tidal flooding. That's also part of the infrastructure.
Well, good.
Discussion that was going on.
That makes sense. If they're convinced that this is going to go on, every year, 3 times a year, then yeah, if you're going to live next to the water, you've got to do something to block the water out, or you got to move in. I mean, the oceans have always moved in and out. The ocean used to be where Arizona is. It was. They have found fossilized sea creatures in the desert sands of Arizona because the oceans once were there millions, billions years ago. But it's eternal change. Climate change is eternal. Every day the climate changes a little bit. Whether it's moving faster or slower than before, they're never going to know for sure because we've only got 150 years worth of records. And besides that, there's nothing you can do about it. You will never, ever get people to give up their modern life. And all you'll get is more and more people by the billions around the world embracing modern life. We never go backwards. We never will.
Apparently, Biden, it appears, misunderstood some of the anger in New Jersey. When he got to Queens, he did acknowledge the heckling he got in New Jersey. The Queens appearance was a little later in the day. He said, the people who stand on the other side of these fences, who don't live here, they're yelling that we're interfering with free enterprise by doing something about climate change. If they don't live here, they don't understand. But apparently what he didn't understand is most of the protesters and hecklers in New Jersey were about a withdrawal from Afghanistan. They weren't staying there complaining about action
because he's a confused old man in the hot sun, and he doesn't know what people are yelling at him about.
Yeah, apparently it could bother him, though. He does get bothered easily.
Oh, he's really thick.
We remember from the campaign trail, he's ready to fight people.
Either that, or it's what he does. He changes the subject. Oh, they don't want to acknowledge climate change. It's like, no, they're yelling about Afghanistan. No, they don't want to acknowledge climate change. Because he doesn't want to talk about Afghanistan.
He doesn't want to talk about it.
Right? So he's just going to pretend it was about something else. I mean, it's so exhausting to listen to him every day. And then you say he's got another speech on Thursday.
He does have a coronavirus speech coming Thursday, I think at prime time. I don't know yet.
All right. He can't do anything about that either. Absolutely nothing. There's nobody in government who's going to stop the virus. Nobody. And I stop foolishly looking for a daddy figure to protect you.
Meanwhile, in Afghanistan, the Taliban announced that it had taken the last part of that country. Believe it or not, they were rebels. They weren't Afghan government people. They were their own rebel factions who were fighting the Taliban takeover, but apparently they got steamrolled too. So
they have our weapons. We have the best weapons in the world.
Yeah. So the Taliban is forming its new government. Apparently they're bringing back all their old friends from their 1996 takeover. It's the same leader.
Oh, I heard a list of the ministers today, from the prime minister on down, and they're all big-time executives from Taliban Incorporated.
Apparently, a few of them are from, remember the prisoner exchange with Bo Bergdahl, Army deserter? Some of those guys we gave up, well, they're now going to be in Taliban power.
We should have killed those guys, like we should have killed Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. There should have been no trials. There should have been no imprisonment. We should have killed them. And so now we didn't kill them, and they reorganized and reconstituted the Taliban. And now what are they doing? They're killing all the local Afghans. Well, why was it so terrible to kill all the Taliban leaders and the Al-Qaeda leaders? No trials. No, nothing. Just eliminate them. It's war. That's what you do. Why let them live so they can come back and kill innocent citizens? What's the point of this?
And there's still talk that they're not allowing planes with Americans on them to leave the country. That's been a story that popped up over the weekend several times.
People apparently have the proper paperwork, but the Taliban is stopping planes and not letting them move. No, they're sitting at the airport in Kabul. And those people are living nearby. I don't know if they're in hotels, and they're all waiting to go, and Taliban says no. And I'd say, good job there, Joe. Excellent. Yeah, there's at least 100 Americans who want to get out, and they can't. All right, we got more coming up. John and Ken, KFI, Deborah Mark has news.
A fire in Montecito Heights has been stopped at less than 1 acre. The fire started along the northbound 110 near Via Marisol this afternoon. More than 400,000 homes and businesses in Louisiana still don't have power 9 days after Hurricane Ida. The CIA, the CIA guy who was briefing President George W. Bush on 9/11 says he is convinced the Taliban will invite al-Qaeda back to rebuild in Afghanistan. We have trouble on the 55, and we will check in with the KFI in the sky next.
Hey, it's Conway here. Are you thinking about refinancing, or if you've already refined your mortgage in 2020, it's more than worthwhile to contact HMS Capital. HMS Capital's Mark Tice has one recommendation. You apply with HMS Capital, right? And then you apply with another lender. HMS Capital is the only lender that I know of that encourages homeowners to apply with multiple lenders. So I've known Mark for a long time through Bill Handel, and it's totally true. There are no appraisals and no application fees of any kind. So go ahead and take the HMS Capital Challenge. Apply with HMS Capital and then apply with some other lender. Rates are the lowest they've ever been at HMS Capital. 833-255-5698. 833-255-5698 or hmscapital.com.
HMS Capital Funding is a DBA of Golden Empire Inc. MNL ID number 2427. HMS Capital is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act. License number 4130360. Equal housing lender.
Providing scalable HR services, employee benefits, payroll, and HR technology for 30-plus years. Insperity's mission is to help businesses succeed so communities prosper. Insperity, HR that makes a difference. Visit Insperity.com.
Southland weather from KFI. Hot again tomorrow. Highs mid-80s to 102. This report brought